DRM circus had arrived at the Nürburgring, 22 kilometers of winding asphalt, trees, and near to certain death if you got it wrong. The arguments between Porsche and Zakspeed continued, this time Zakspeed thoroughly trying to explain their case to the media. Ford Germany sport director Michael Kranefuss had put forward an interesting point against Porsche, going back to the Porsche 93576 that debuted in the World Championship for makes. He said the same way Porsche had made the 911's headlights flat on the splitter opposed to obstructing the bonnet shape for aerodynamic purpose was the same method they had used bolt-on side wings to get around the rulebook on chassis structure. Zakspeed believed that since aerodynamic fender design is open for constructors, they were entitled to design the rear end in this fashion, while staying completely legal because the side wings were not actually connected to the actual wing, which was the middle piece, while Porsche argued that it is intended to be and functions like a single wing piece.
Reglement sind wir auch dazu gekommen, unser Heck etwas anders zu gestalten.
I don't think even Klaus Ludwig, the driver for Zakspeed himself, was very convinced by their argument. When the flag fell, this memorable race was started. First Division 1, 3 minutes later Division 2. Another flag would be welcome some 18 kilometers further, a yellow one with red stripes, but alas it wasn't given since the track was flooded. The mounting pressure from Formula 1 was already prompting Nürburgring to go through various changes, but it still lacked some safety features in drainage ditches and Armco barriers. This made the Nürburgring prone to flooding, creating the opportunity for horrific accidents like we saw with Niki Lauda in 1976. Ludwig, leading, and Stommelen, second, got away with it. They left the track but did not hit anything. But Plankenhorn crashed into the barriers on both sides of the track with front and rear of the car destroyed, and when he wanted to leave his car, Edgar Dorin crashed as well, and Bob Wallach had fallen victim to the poor weather as well. He went straight into the Armco barriers. Stommelen was in the lead after lap 1, with Ludwig second despite missing a spoiler and a battered underside. He dropped back when he pitted in lap 2. Manfred Winkelhock was a happy second and was soon leading in the BMW M1 when Stommelen had a puncture. The latter fell back to third behind teammate Volkert Merl. Manfred Winkelhock had been starting under appeal since he overtook under yellow flags in practice and was disqualified from the meeting. Some time after the race, the appeal was rejected and Winkelhock disqualified completely, ending the sensation that a Group 4 car won Division 1 overall. In fact, the overall win was now for a Division 2 car, if you exclude the 3-minute distance. The winner was Rd.02, who had been hampered by a lot of problems in practice. Fastest had been stuck, and he took the lead after the start, but soon fell back when his engine only ran on 3 cylinders. The lead was taken over by Klaus Niedwitz, who passed Rd.02 and Heyer as if they were amateurs, but then his gearbox got stuck in first, straight out. When Rd.02's throttle stuck for a while, Heyer took the lead, but the order was reversed when the throttle came loose and Heyer's car lost power with a damaged turbo. Harald Rd.02 would limp his Capri to the finish, taking home a well-deserved win, while Heyer came in second once again, and another solid result for Lancia. Hans Soldeck, a surprise third by finishing the race slow and steady, while Stuck took a handful of points home in fifth. Zakspeed were furious once more. Their rear wing declared illegal provisionally, still for this round, and disqualified for the second time in a row. Since Winkelhock was also disqualified for his transgression in practice, Volkert Merl and Rolf Stommelen would finish 1-2 for Liqui Moly, leaving team owner Reinhold Jost delighted.
I know
Sticking with Division 2, we come to Hockenheim. Apart from Lancia and Schnitzer rolling out slick-looking new liveries on their Beta Monte Carlo and BMW 320, this time the race was not that exciting. Harald Ertl had yet another troubled practice, but was still on pole after Zakspeed organised a tow on the long straights in their Division 1 Capri by Klaus Ludwig. Second was the ever-improving Klaus Niedwitz, who followed Ertl like a shadow in the race until he overdid things and lost his front spoiler, followed by his engine expiring. This did not help Ertl in any way, since Heyer had closed in and passed when Ertl's turbo hose came loose again, just like in Zolder. This was the order at the finish as well, with Walter Brunn third after Hans Stuck had fallen victim to engine troubles. Lancia probably expected sooner or later that this would happen. They finally took their first win in the DRM, having better reliability than the rest of their competitors. This foreshadowed what may be a great championship for Heyer, as he had had now 2 second-place finishes and a first in Hockenheim. So many things happened in this race that it's so exciting it probably deserves a video all on its own for several reasons, but I'll try and keep it short this time around. For the third time, Axel Plankenhorn couldn't score victory this season for the Kremer team, although he came close. In practice, Axel slaughtered an engine when he missed a gear, but even so, he should be able to win, since Wallach's Pirellis would keep up a lap or 10. The Capri was too slow on the straights, only Stommelen would be competitive. But not so. Stommelen took the lead in the race, clocked the fastest lap, but soon retired with a broken injection belt. Now Bob Wallach was in the lead, oiling the windshield of the following Plankenhorn, who was followed by Ludwig in the Capri, for which, the first time, was accepted by the scrutineers, so they didn't have to start under appeal. The order stayed the same for a while, until Wallach's engine cried enough in the last lap, enabling Plankenhorn to take the lead, even though he slowed a little because of Wallach. And here is the kicker. Klaus Ludwig rapidly closed, pumped up the boost, and tapped the Porsche softly at the Sachs corner. Softly, quote unquote. It wasn't enough, but in the very last corner, Ludwig reached for the smallest of gaps, almost like Senna and Prost in 1990, which ended in tears when both cars spun. Ludwig recovered first, crossing the line as the victor ahead of a raging Plankenhorn. Of course, Kremer entered a protest. Since the scrutineers had been generous about Zakspeed's ongoing rear wing debacle, the stewards ended up doubling down on Kremer with another serving of preference to Zakspeed. Their win, quote-unquote, would stand, much to the anger of Plankenhorn. Plankenhorn would now have 2 second-place finishes, and it did not finish. Ludwig a provisional double disqualification and a win, finally getting points up on the board. Heyer, however, was now beginning to slowly pull away with consistent finishes, 2 second-place finishes, and now a win. Stommelen with a win and a second-place finish, Ertl not too far behind, with a 7th, a win, and a 2nd place. Hans Stuck was still having growing pains in his 320, but this may soon end as his car kept showing more and more promise in its development, a 3rd and a 5th to his name. The DRM was to head to the Nürburgring once again for the esteemed Eifel-Rennen race, where both Division 1 and Division 2 cars would start at the same time. Calamity is sure to ensue, but until next time, we'll stop here.